that's one of the things in the characters that are doing the dialogue of civilization and the lumpy gravy. They're not literate people. They sound mindless.
Yeah, they're modern people. They're definitely not literate, but doesn't mean they're inferior. They're just using other senses. But they're inside a government that's pushing individuals.
They're pushing, look at this way, and they're pushing on each other. And
yeah, that's only a small part of it. Their concepts are pretty good.
Yeah. There's a double thing going on in the character of the person.
Yeah. And it's actually a really great way to... it's like Ben Watson, he would understand the relevance of lumpy gravy, but he wouldn't know the McLuhan to map it in. But Ben Watson saying that Zappa had perfect pitch, I would agree with. That his, of all the content that tape artists were collaging, his is the most appropriate if you accept McLuhan's larger picture.
Yeah, well, Zappa was neutral. He didn't. He was an equal opportunity offender. He saw that everybody, the cool people were idiots. The stiff people were idiots.
That's television. That's the Tetrad manager. All experience becomes content. You see this in McLuhan's review of Burroughs' Naked Lunch, 1964. The art becomes Egyptian. It takes the whole world as its content. That's what Zappa was moving towards. He was updating music to catch up to Phineas Wake and McLuhan.
That was what I was telling you before we set up this phone call. Was, to me, the Zappa's work is 60 albums or whatever that were released. To me, they make up two parts of an extra. Like the beginning, there's a beginning part of his whole career, like 60 albums, and then there's this one, which kind of balances out the previous 60 albums. Because it's looking at the whole collage and responding to it.
With the emphasis on words, the power of words.
Yeah, with the emphasis on the power of words, and also the shifting idea of what music is, and also the idea of having more of a global leader or satellite conductor type of perspective, just right handle on everything.
Yeah.
And then that, like I said, Civilization Phase 3 it creates more questions than it answers. And to me, that's the bridge between Zappa's main body of work and Bob's college. And I've read articles with Zappa where he's talking about when he stopped performing, he stopped working with musicians, and he was just at home working with the Synclavier. He said his whole notion of music was enhanced to include basically just him, for his own enjoyment, selecting different sounds and rubbing them together.
He was anticipating digital culture. He was anticipating Tiesto, a guy up on stage entertaining thousands from one little keyboard or mixing board. That's what Frank was doing, and he had pictures on Chunga's Revenge and maybe an Overnight Sensation of the hand going into the little hologram and altering it like a mixing board in a studio. That was a metaphor.
And Chad, your thing about him taking and mixing and rubbing different sounds together also extends into his that you couldn't get it, you never get it done, and you can't get it wrong because he mixed all these parts of digital recordings that weren't meant to go together, and he would put them, rub them together, and he would create a new composition, and he called it Synochrony.
Like he did with the... Yeah, but Scott, like he did with these guys in the studio. He put a bunch of people together, and he knew he could make order out of whatever they said. Couldn't get it wrong.
And then you got, like I said, that's the bridge, because the Civilization Phase 3 is the ultimate expression of just all-out monotonous type of assembling material, where he's just arbitrarily selecting bits from here, from the 60s, from Lumpy Gravy, mixing with new soundbites, and, fresh synthesized sounds, sampled sounds from the Synclavier, and it's all coming out with a new type of novel sound. It might not make sense on the surface, it might sound fragmented, but can actually stand up to the analysis that we are subjecting it to.